Hello everyone, welcome once again to the second episode of IndianTelevision.com's Ed Break, an interesting initiative where we talk to some of the best creative minds from the Indian ad industry. Joining us today on today's episode is Mr. Rajesh Ramsamy and Mr. Ayyappan Raj, both of whom have started the script room just a year back and within a year have delivered 41 interesting brand films, working across brands like Netflix and OYO. Both of them have around 2 decades of experience in the industry and were earlier also associated with agencies like Lowe Lintas. And today they will be talking all about the script room, their creative journeys, and their experiences of working in the lockdown, during which also they have churned out a very great amount of movies and also a short film QSQD for a YouTube channel. I welcome you both.
Thank you, Mansi.
Thank you so much.
Before we get into the discussion, how's lockdown, how's the unlock and everything treating you, considering you are in Mumbai?
Bombay is from last 3 months, it has been growing numbers and everything. But we lost track of the count. I don't think this count matters or kind of has any significance. Of course, it matters. I don't know what is the significance, what conclusion one can draw from it, X number, Y number. So people are now moving around. I mean, shops are open. We have an office in Pali Hill in Bandra. Not that we go every day, maybe once a week, twice a week, just to keep ourselves, get out of the house. Like Bangalore also we go. And that's what we are doing. So Bombay is like Bombay for all, any adversity, how Bombay deals with, it seems to be doing the same thing.
Yeah, I'm sitting in Bangalore, so yeah, pretty much the same. In the beginning, it was good fun, a long needed break for everyone, especially people in advertising, so they are always right. But then very soon we discovered that the band sitting at home is also not a solution. We all done with family, playing games, Ludo, everything's done. It's all over. Now it's just raring to go, just dying to come back and do something.
Now, coming to your journeys in the creative industry, as I mentioned in the introduction to that close to 2 decades you have spent, worked across agencies and worked on some spectacular brands like Tanishq and Flipkart. So tell me about your journeys. How did you get into the creative market? What inspired you, and how have the previous 18, 19 odd years have been for you?
Basically, I never came into advertising by accident. It was very clear, like right from my college days. So I was very good at it and also very, very interested in it. So because I was fully into mad ads, I had to watch a lot of ads. So eventually by the end of it, I just ended up, falling in love with advertising. So, and I joined to be a writer, but I did not get selected as a writer. I got selected in servicing. I never knew what that was. So I just joined. I spent about 7 years doing client management. But as luck would have it, I was fortunate enough to manage to crack a few ads sitting in client management. And then eventually I made the switch to creative. I was in JWT at that time. And then after that, I moved to Lowe Lintas. And finally, it was a beautiful journey. For some strange reason, we attracted a lot of television-heavy accounts. So there was naturally, the number of television commercials that happened out of the Bangalore office was pretty high. So that got us pretty involved in a lot of storytelling format, and that slowly, you start developing that skill. You started discovering how to write for an ad, how to write for a certain duration, how to write for a certain budget, and it kind of developed that skill a lot. And the main brands were, of course, Tanishq and Flipkart and Britannia and, a whole lot of other brands. So, yeah, over the course of time, it was like, at the end of the year, we used to have fun and just counting how many commercials we made, this year. So it used to always run at least hundreds. About a year back, I left Lintas, and then I also dabble as an independent filmmaker, as an ad filmmaker. But then this agency side of life also was at least missing writing a little bit. And then Ayyappan was also a partner back when he was in the Lintas Bangalore, and we used to bond a lot. And we all were very fond of writing as a subject, and we used to all discuss ads a lot, especially the ones which are about very much writing heavy and stuff like that. We used to really trip on some dialogues or, even print ads. Over a period of time, we were wondering what if we have to really start off something on our own, what could it be? And then we thought, why not why can't it be just about writing, man? Like, so that's the part which really interests us and something we were also good at and really enthused.
Mine is actually very similar also, strangely. I was in programming. I used to write coding in what you call C++ and Clipper and all that for 2-3 years. Then when after my management school, I landed up in Lintas. That's the first agency I worked in. I actually wanted to be a writer. I did my project there. I wanted to be a writer. Then I wanted to be a Tamil writer, very specifically. But then they explained, saying that there is no job as Tamil writer. You have to be a writer. So, but then I said I still want to be a Tamil writer because I'm very good at that. By then I written movie reviews in Tamil, poetry and stuff and all that. So then they said, Tamil writer means you own A4 sheet you write, you get 100 rupees. That's when that is a large campaign that's happening on MRF or Reynolds or something else or Unilever or something like that. A4 sheet means 100 rupees. But then I tried calculating whether how many 100 rupees, how many A4 sheets, what is the rent going to be in Chennai and this. I wasn't so sure. So that time I had a super boss who had actually taken me in for the project. Then he said, you're done MBA and all that. It might be a right thing to do, become a servicing guy, account manager. So that's how my career started. And me and Ramsam know each other close to 10, 15 years now. And we had worked together, where not just me and him, there is a bunch of people who had kind of bonded. And there was an enormous amount of camaraderie, amazing amount of work being produced. And and after that, when I moved to Bombay, I was in Mullen, Bombay, when we set up the place. when Lowe Lintas and the group set up the place in Bombay. I was one of the key members of the team. And that time onwards, we have been in touch. We used to stay in touch because we're all kind of spent our good period of the prime of producing good work and finding comfort and wavelength match on tastes on movies to music to comedy, the jokes and all that. There was one good bunch that was there. So we all kept in touch. In fact, one anecdote towards this is Ramsam used to have a group called Writers Room, like a WhatsApp group. Okay, so which is about like exactly what he said. It had a lot of other people as well, not just the people who are currently at the script room or in the script room, where people used to share screenplays to press ads to Netflix series, something that's happening, some John Lewis ad, latest ad that's getting released, everything people used to share. And it's like a richer conversations and stuff. So that actually was one of the inspirations which he had told me a couple of times. And when we set out to make our own place, create our own place, get friends and people who work with like-minded people, sensibility, everything. This was one of the inspirations for that. That's how it came into existence last year, and it's been like a good run.
So now graduating from account managers to handling creative divisions and now having an agency of your own. So you have had quite a journey, both of you. So how different is it to lead an agency? Because it's not just creative now, you must be handling the HR part of it, you must be handling all the logistics and lots of other departments under you. So how has the past 1 year been for both of you?
Mine, most of the time, no, it hasn't changed much of one aspect of it. The question that you specifically asked, other things that we have to be responsible for. People we have to be responsible for. Finances we have to be responsible for. Place we have to be responsible for. Those things were there earlier also. When we are running a branch or running a unit or running a group, these things in different scales were there. And ownership towards things, taking work personally has always been the case in my case also. And the reason that I have a lot of regard and respect and connected with Ramsam also, because that was mutual. He also used to take things, work and brand work personally. So in this case, the fact that we don't belong to a larger network, we don't have the certainty of financial stability, so to speak, and a backing of a larger brand name. Okay. And those things definitely have a play. Those things definitely do matter. But they are also the ones that are exciting as well. At our age, to make oneself feel, which is like a cliche kind of a word, but to make oneself feel vulnerable is a fantastic high.
Yeah, pretty much the same. For me, the only big difference is the running a agency after a certain point in time. You start off as a writer. I mean, everybody begins as a writer, then they become a creative director, and then as you keep moving up the ladder, you start writing lesser and lesser. because your managerial kind of thing kind of takes over, and your efforts are going more into running a branch, and you get lesser time. So, well, I did love the agency life. How do I? It was like almost like a very selfish thing. How do I do that also and still only keep it to just the writing part of it? So this is a very convenient kind of arrangement. So yeah, so it's just to enable others to spend more time on writing. And that's the big difference. Yeah, probably over here we're ending up writing a lot more because we don't have so much of managerial problems.
But was it ever daunting when you were planning it and when you were taking the decision to start something of your own? Did any sort of doubt occurred in your head, or you were very clear, no, this is the way we want?
No, it's not even very clear. I don't think we were so clear or something. And neither was it daunting because honestly, it was a very private or a very personal kind of a decision that we made rather than saying, we should occupy this kind of a thing need in the market or none of that stuff. It came from, man, what do we love doing, dude? Can we do something that we love doing together? And then we'll see where it goes. And since we have this mutual desire for writing and stuff like that, should we have a writer's shop, something like that? And I'm sure, man, also the environment kind of changed so much. It feels like, yeah, the time for writers has arrived more at an intuitive level. And yeah, that intuition is kind of turning out to be true also, yeah. Because ever since we started this, even say for the long format and things like that, so we were from the advertising background. The minute you call any production house or any, and you say you're a writer, they're very keen to meet you. So at least that is there. It's because that itself kind of proves that there's a dearth for writers and people want people who are really keen on writing.
As you said that there have been many changes that have occurred in the industry, not just for writers, but I guess across sectors and across various jobs that are there. But are all of the changes palatable? Are all of the changes positive? Or do you think there are certain things which were better the old school way?
I certainly like a lot of the things of the old school also. I really miss print ads. There was a beautiful time, the Pretty Birdie and things like that, those long copy ads and, at one point in time, we used to wait for, one shows to grab the first copy of it. Even viewing the can, it was such a big deal. People would save those ads, watch, and, how much of kicks we used to get by just, getting a TVC brief. So it was such a big deal. Now it's become such an ordinary thing. So yeah, all that enthusiasm, that charm and that old school part of life and how our approach was and how every little thing do us not such big kicks is there. But at the same time, there are a lot of other changes also that are happening right now because, the overall sensibilities and not just of advertising, I'm saying everywhere, it's kind of changing for the better. The content is becoming more real, more believable. It's not template-ish. There is a lot of room for fresher ideas. And, a guy with, 20 years of experience and a guy who just walked in almost can be on the same level in terms of their thought process. When we would walk in at that age, we would walk in to learn, and these guys walk in to express, and they are trying to figure out, is there a scope of expressing here? I think that is itself a big change, which is beautiful.
And clients are also, I think, over a period of time, clients are also opening up. And what happens finally, there's no, the legacy is of not much value anymore. Okay, your legacy is your last 1 year work or maybe 2 years work and what you put out, which is of, I think, true of any industry to a large extent. How good you are in the last couple of years is how what the expectation one can have from that individual or that organization. And also the whole deal of this digital versus what you call mass media and media, all these things are all now, there's no demarcation as such. Everything is digital, everything is communication. So people are not saying that I want this particular piece and I want that particular piece. That's also happening. So it's like two things happening at the same time. I'm not supremely clear about the exact demarcation, but I'll explain though. One is people wanting to have specialization is also happening, and people wanting to explore multiple things are also happening. So both are happening at the same time. So I think it is overall it feels like a good thing only. And it is constantly, like Ramsam said, it's getting better for the good. So you can find newer expressions, and acceptance to unconventional things is very high. because just not just in advertising, even in Bollywood, even in other forms, even in any entertainment industry and stuff like that, the newer guys coming up with newer concepts, a newer way of looking at things, newer forms of storytelling. And if you have a good success seen as an example, it opens up 7 things immediately following.
Actually, the thing that gets talked about a lot is, when the new age has happened, things have changed. So people, say like Insta Reels is launched, the 10-second format is launched, the online live streaming or, audio fiction. I mean, every day there's something new that's happening. But people always, get overwhelmed by a new format that's coming in, and that's what's being talked about. But if you just take the very aspect of just writing has changed over the years. Okay, how Shakespeare used to write and how this one has to write, and there was a Chetan Bhagat phase, and then there was some other phase. That writing also is evolving. Now there is a different writing also, right? I mean, there was nothing called slam poetry. Now there's something called slam poetry. That is a new form of writing. Even within every sphere, it is also evolving. That's also gaining new mediums. I mean, there was nothing called sketches. Earlier there used to be nothing called sketches, and now there's something called sketches.
And also, I guess regional languages have started getting their due. So, Ayyappan, if you would have started in today's time, would you have gone on the way of being a Tamil writer?
Absolutely. And there are a Tamil writer, Tamil jingle writer, Tamil voiceover artist. I could have been many things. Tamil translation writer or a writer for Tamil movies. They are producing some crazy amount of films a year. So, yeah. Regional is taken off. Regional has become, I think it's across the board, which again, I'm not actually sure about whether it's an advertising thing. It's more a entertainment industry thing that region has taken off. Advertising is more like what you consume, irrespective of the language. Yes. Because the point is being most often is the same unless there's a cultural nuancing to it and stuff like that, or context to it.
And as you said, that writing as a core medium has changed, has evolved. So, being writers yourselves, how easy or difficult is it to mold your thought process or mold your, working style according to fit into the newer medium?
No, since we've evolved over the process, it's very difficult to even others pinpoint what exactly happened, because you just evolved. You don't know whether you're adapting or not, because you have done it. It's not like you've taken a big vacation, suddenly you're coming after some 10 years to figure out, oh man, everything has changed. So it has happened and you're gradually going along with it. So it's not such a shocker or something like that. For instance, if you take a web series as a format, okay, there are no veterans writing it. Everybody who's writing that is also first time. They're all newcomers. There was that format itself is new. So I am as new to them as they are. So there's as anybody else is. So you're all discovering and creating together. Yes, there is a lot of changes that are happening within that, and it's not so difficult to adapt to the changes. You are also part of the change. It's not like something's happening. You're also bringing in that change. The one biggest change that I noticed is, insights. Earlier, when you crack an insight for an ad, you're saying, wow, man, that is your biggest golden moment. Okay. But now, insights are getting captured in memes almost on a day-to-day basis. And they're expressed in such a short way and one visual and very crude execution, and it's done. But it's still the same insight, and it's done by regular folks. Almost on every second basis, you spot something and you smile saying, wow, what an insight this guy latched onto. For us, that was a big moment. Now there's no big deal of cracking an insight. So therefore, the second aspect of it, which is crafting it and knowing what to do with an insight, giving it the shape and form. And that's where the trip really changes,
Also, apart from meme culture, I guess what digital has done is increase, the amount of ads that brands were creating or marketers were creating earlier. To me, every video that I see online, every content that I see online, it appears like an ad to me. Sometimes it's for a brand, sometimes it's also for personal branding now, because the influencer culture is very much in. So do you think the market is really, really crowded now, and it takes a lot to stand out?
Yeah. So I had a bit of an experience on influencer culture when we used to work on some businesses in my earlier agency and in a regional role. Say Indonesia has some people who are like really, but whatever I have gathered there is, which is true to many other markets as well, is fashion and lifestyle. Influencer is like a because most of the influencers come from that space. Okay, fashion, lifestyle, beauty is where you get the maximum following beyond sports. So sports is anyway an influencer outside of this medium, so-called influencing, Instagram celebrities or Twitter celebrities. Okay, sports star is a sports star anyways. There are people who have become influencers in this Insta and many other spaces, social media spaces, are from this background of lifestyle, beauty and aesthetics kind of a zone, or health kind of a zone. Okay, so those brands most of the time kind of work with them. Sometimes they in fact co-create products with them and collaborate with them and put out a new line, product line and stuff, or use them as endorsers, like how many times we use celebrities. Same thing applies to influencers, promotions, and also in influencer case, a lot of conversations can happen, where they can put out and ask for opinion, and then, so that is my understanding.
No, anyway, I think they are two entirely different worlds. I mean, that will continue to exist as a separate entity, the influencer marketing and stuff. I think even food is like that. But the followers are there to get influence. It's very clear. So, but what advertising can do is to inspire. You are just catching somebody unaware. He's not there at that point in time, to follow or something like that, and he's following a trend or something like that.
And do you think organizations now need to train their writers also to, sort of work according to the whole new sort of world that is out there, apart from knowing the vocab and grammar for, the right writing, also to kind of help the brands pick the right voice and, pick the right topics or have a right voice to support them?
Yeah, I think certainly yes, because what's happening is since advertising also has changed a lot and newer formats are coming in, a lot of emphasis is laid on, the idea generation of it, coming up with the idea, the crafting of it, and also knowing what's possible in what duration, and even a lot of technical things, like, okay, say for example, you have a 2-day shoot, how much is achievable in a 2-day shoot, even having a approximate idea of what would cost how much, what is impractical, what's practical. Yeah. And again, understanding the sensitivities of what a brand needs, and again, how to adapt your idea to a certain tone of voice. All, can't be taught beyond a point in time, because it's something that you learn on the job. But it's probably gone a little to the other extreme, where since there are not many workshops and those things don't happen anymore in agencies as they used to happen earlier. I think that for a lot of newcomers, well, they have great ideas. The form usually is so impractical, or it's like a little lost all over the space. That training would certainly help.
And now coming back to the script room, as we were also discussing before the conversation began, you worked a lot during the lockdown too. So how was the experience different from working in normal times?
We did some lockdown films, okay, not for a band, I think, just general stories. So we thought of, okay, let's think of some 3 to 4 stories. That conversation started, and we thought, okay, maybe we can document some stories of what happens during lockdown, and we just exchange some ideas and all this stuff. So the way we went about executing that also, okay, now it's a little changed, but over there was no crew, there was nothing. So it's just the actors shooting themselves. So you have to not just cast the actor, you have to cast the actor and his house. And you have to also be, we wrote a skeleton structure of the story, and then we called the actor and we showed him, show me a house. What are the props in his house that I can use, that I can build into the story, the environment and all that stuff. So that was an experience that we had, and that resulted in a certain set of enjoyable stories. But that gave us a window of, yes, it is time for us to think with restrictions. In terms of writing, I think one is, of course, the restrictions change your writing. But I think the mood that we all are in, we know what kind of stories to write, what will gain traction, what not.
And do you think that the way industry was functioning during the pandemic, will it have a longer lasting impact on how, videos are shown for advertisement, or maybe long form for web series or for movies, or anything?
Yeah, I think it plays in a very different kind of a way. Okay, so since now we are all operating with a lot of restrictions, we've also come to understand where a lot of money was being wasted. Okay, so we are looking at more frugal ways of working. We're exploring newer formats of storytelling. So, like for example, probably we would have never engaged with computer graphics or newer animations and things like that, or 3D. That would have not even occurred. And now, since that's become more of a requirement, that what happens is when that avenue opens, you open up a network, you open up collaboration with newer people, and every single time that you open collaboration with newer people, you get new ideas. And so your thinking also kind of changes. You also know, hey man, why not explore something like this? So whatever was a restriction right now stops becoming a restriction and becomes a newer way of thinking. So your thinking pattern kind of alters. So what might have been seen as a very grand scene before, right now the way of executing that grand scene might change, or the way you conceive that grand scene might change.
From a script room point of view, there are two parts to it. One is execution, which is going to be constraining for all of us collectively as industry, because we can't shoot certain things. We can't do mega ad where people are cars coming, flying over and action. And it's like, we can't imagine as a typical thumbs up ad kind of a thing. You can't imagine at this point in time. Maybe soon it will happen. Maybe things will get better and stuff like that. But relationship and people and human stories can all be done. So that is one part. From a script room point of view, writing is our offering. So that is not really impacted. Okay. So the long format stuff that we have kind of got commissioned and got into, and it's in work in progress, that continues to be going on. Even now, pitches are being called for, instead of people meeting other people in person and agencies going from one city to another, none of that. It's all happening on Zoom calls. So that is not changed. That is almost continuing. While whether the campaign will go on air now or campaign will go on air later, of course that's there. So people, whatever I kind of sense is people are preparing for the unlock during the lockdown. While they are sitting and understanding and strategy, what should be the campaign that we should be ready with in October or November or December, is something that it's almost like a preparation time. It's it's slightly longer preparation time, but people are doing that.
And going ahead, what are your plans for the script room? What sort of work are you looking forward to be doing?
From my point of view, two things. One is we are not like going after content, so to speak, in a long format content, whether feature film and stuff like that, because we already have something where we are invested in emotionally and spending time and effort in. So that is going to go. We are happy doing the brand work that we are doing. Currently, there are some 2-3 campaigns we have done, which is going to be put out soon, and 3 campaigns that we have just signed up. 2 large businesses where we're working on, again, a series of films which are very exciting and stuff. And one we are going to shoot in a month from now. And so that is going on. So for us, the kind of work that we want to do is the kind of work that we have done. It's not like we want to do something which the world has never seen before. None of that. We are not. We are like, what is our strength? We want to kind of put that out in the market, and which will be beneficial and which will be relevant and for businesses and brands. And second thing is, it is also, we tend to take a same brief, same brand, and try a completely different kind of a storytelling. That we have been doing. If you look at all the work that we have done, it is a very simple thing of seeing a product or a benefit or a feature and taking it and kind of making a storification of it, so to speak, and giving it a meaning, giving it a human kind of a angle. This is what pretty much our approach has been in many of the cases. And it is working very well in the market. So that's pretty much where we are. It's not, and also it's not like we are going to become 50 people place. We are right now 8 people, and we are happy being 8 people. And it also offers a certain kind of a comfort, and it's a certain kind of a strength, and we're able to focus. And most of the people are senior people, so they have been in the business for long. They have seen large brands and businesses and written like really good stuff in both the sides, on content side and the brand side. So that's where we are.
Yeah, I'm saying the very titling called Script Room, and since the writer's hub, and if you are kicked and your trip is on writing as a subject, whatever it naturally leads to is where we will also gravitate towards, whether it be mediums or whether it is even us forget about business. I mean, even if it means that we have a podcast tomorrow, which is an interaction of writers community. It has nothing to do with business, but we would certainly want to be in a space like that. So wherever it opens up avenues that we intuitively gravitate towards is where we see this going.
Great. It was great fun interacting with both of you, Ayyappan and Ramsam. I usually love interacting
Thank you so much.
with writers and creators being from the same industry, but yes, you two had some interesting inputs to add, and your journeys have been very inspiring and amazing. Wishing you all the best for all your future endeavors, and thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mansi. Wish you a lot too. Thanks a lot.